Welcome to this custom deep dive into the foundational sources of your introductory business course. So that includes the textbook, the instructor's manual, and the video notes.
Yeah, our mission here is really to decode the core concepts of economic systems and, understand how businesses actually operate within them.
Right, because usually when you look at organizations, it feels like they should all be playing the exact same game. I mean, step onto a basketball court and everyone is trying to score points.
Exactly.
But in the economy, you have a tech startup ruthlessly pursuing financial margins right next door to a group pouring all its energy into social goals. So how do both operate within the exact same economic system?
Well, it really comes down to understanding that neither exists in a vacuum. Every organization, whether they're chasing profit or a social mission, acts as an engine creating our standard of living.
Okay, but they rely on external environments to do that, right?
Exactly. External environments and overarching economic frameworks. Take Team Rubicon from the source text. They organize logistics, they manage complex supply chains, and they deploy specialized teams.
Honestly, with the efficiency of a Fortune 500 company.
Oh, absolutely. The operational mechanism is basically identical to a standard business. The difference is just that their output is disaster relief rather than, shareholder dividends.
And to generate that output, whether it's disaster relief or a consumer product, requires the foundational building blocks, the factors of production.
Right. The classic four: natural resources, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship.
Yeah, so if you're launching a new app, you need the server space as your natural resources, the coders providing labor, venture capital funding, and the founder's initial pitch.
Right.
But, I mean, looking at the modern landscape, that four-part framework feels, a bit incomplete, doesn't it?
It does, and modern economists actually recognize that gap. The critical fifth factor is knowledge.
Okay, knowledge.
Because having the servers and the coders just isn't enough anymore. It's the proprietary data, the predictive analytics, and the synthesized talent of the workforce that actually create a competitive advantage.
Wow, yeah. And applying that knowledge requires a deep understanding of who is actually on the other end of the transaction.
Uh,
Which brings us to a massive external force that no business can control.
right, our word of the day.
Yes, demography, the study of people's vital statistics.
And its business relevance is huge. Take an aging workforce, for instance. That isn't just an internal HR problem.
Right, it entirely rewrites external consumer demand.
Exactly. A tech company might have to pivot its accumulated knowledge from developing gaming apps to engineering health monitoring software. The demographic shift dictates the survival strategy.
And those shifts happen within massive macro-level systems. I mean, you have the friction of mixed economies where private ownership and market competition blend together.
Yeah, that capitalism aspect blending with the strong government influence and public safety nets, often seen in socialism.
But then, zooming in from those macro frameworks to the micro level, businesses actually compete within specific market structures. And this is where theory kind of collides with reality.
Oh, for sure.
Like, let's look at perfect competition. It assumes many sellers offering interchangeable products. But does that even exist outside of an academic model? Every brand today claims to be completely unique.
Well, it is primarily an ideal benchmark. You might see it in an agricultural market like wheat.
Because no single farmer can dictate the price.
Exactly, because the commodity is identical across the board. But you're right, the vast majority of everyday businesses exist in monopolistic competition. Think of retail clothing.
Right, where brands spend millions on advertising just to artificially differentiate their jeans from a competitor's jeans.
Precisely, which allows them some control over their pricing. Or they are operating in oligopolies, like the airline industry.
Where massive barriers to entry leave just a few dominant players controlling the skies.
Yeah.
Wow.
And when those dominant markets overheat or stagnate, the overarching system steps in to course correct.
Government intervention.
Right. That course correction happens through two main levers. First, when the economy is running too hot, the Federal Reserve uses monetary policy to pull the lever on interest rates.
Which makes borrowing more expensive, so startups can't secure cheap capital to expand.
Exactly. It deliberately cools down the market. Meanwhile, the government pulls the fiscal policy lever by adjusting taxation and spending.
So if they cut taxes, consumers suddenly have more disposable income to buy those differentiated jeans or book those airline tickets.
Right, which artificially stimulates demand. For you, whether you are managing a team or navigating a career, understanding these levers is exactly how you anticipate trends.
Yeah, knowing how a shift in the Fed's interest rates or a demographic wave of retiring baby boomers will constrain your capital or alter your target market, that is the essence of strategic adaptation.
We started off wondering how a profit-driven startup and a nonprofit like Team Rubicon play on the same court.
And it turns out they're navigating the exact same macroeconomic winds and demographic shifts, just aim for different hoops.
Beautifully said. But here's a final question for you to ponder. If knowledge is now the ultimate factor of production, how will the rapid evolution of technology fundamentally rewrite the boundaries of these traditional economic systems in the near future?